And I actually did have a couple people see that and then search me on Instagram. Unfortunately, an older gentleman hit me and totaled my 5x8 trailer. It went from literally 0. Right now we have about 40. I'm gonna take you guys outside right now and show you the wrap job that they did on my truck. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to my garage. So I've been wanting to make this video for a while, and I actually started to make this video at one point. I decided to do it over again. I think I was rambling a little too much. This one, I want to be straight to the point, not as many cuts. Kind of let you guys know my journey. First year in landscaping, how I got started, why I got started, and some things that are going to help you guys out, some mistakes to avoid. If you don't know who I am, my name's Colin. I've had this YouTube channel for years. I did a lot of dirt bike stuff, did a lot of music stuff. I'm going to continue to do dirt bike stuff. I still ride. I got my YZ250 in the background. I ride and race. So if you're into dirt bikes, check out the channel, subscribe. Definitely going to be doing some more dirt bike stuff this summer. Last summer, didn't do anything because I was working so dang hard getting this landscaping business started. I'm just gonna let you guys know how I kind of got into it and what led me to that path. Ultimately, it was me desiring to build something on my own and grow something that would just light fire in my belly, as some people would say. If you ever play sports or watch coaches or motivational speakers, you gotta have that fire lit. I bounced around from a few different jobs. After college, I played sports in college, went to college for audio engineering. So for years struggling, just doing a lot of freelance work and some odd jobs, teaching drum lessons, which I still do, and ended up personal training naturally from a sports background. That was something I almost went to school for, was exercise science. But looking back, I'm happy I took the major and career path that I did, going through school and also being able to play sports. Personal trained for 5 or 6 years, and what ended up happening was we found out we were having a baby. So I have a son now. He's over 1 year old. You get to a point where it's like, man, I gotta make more money. Thank God we never missed a payment ever. So long story short, I ended up leaving the gym I was working at for so many years, and I still have a great relationship with the owner of that gym. And he owns some properties and stuff, so I'm actually doing a lot of landscaping work for him and his residential properties still. So good relationships there, still great relationships with a lot of the clients that I trained and everything. Long story short, I left that and I went to work in the family business doing insurance. My father owns an insurance agency, so kind of learned that, and I had dabbled in it before, but this time I was for sure. I'm like, we're having a baby, I got to make money, I can do it. I'm going to learn how to sell, I'm going to learn the products. Shifted focus into doing that, and didn't feel 100% right, but it felt like I was going in a better direction as far as trying to grow and create more of a stable income, to the point where we didn't have to worry every month, all right, how much do we have? Should we not be spending this going out and whatever? Definitely an uncomfortable feeling when you're tight most months. Definitely uncomfortable, and I knew I had to break out of that. So that was my next thing. I went and did that for a period of time. Not that I didn't do as well as I wanted to, I just couldn't get that fire lit doing it. It didn't feel good, it didn't feel fulfilling, and it felt like ultimately I was on the completely wrong path, and I have no other words to describe it. Did as best as I could, and I got good at doing phone calls, setting appointments. It wasn't my path, unfortunately. It sucks when you tell someone that you're gonna go do something and it doesn't work out the way that you had intended it to work out. Just through YouTube, doing a lot of thinking and having a lot of faith in it, naturally gravitated towards doing things with my hands. Experimented with contracting type work, watching videos, and I do a lot of things on my own anyway around the house with home remodelings, things of that nature. Flooring, I've done flooring. We actually had a family friend who owns a flooring company, and he had me come out for a week and work with him too. I was like, man, I like doing this, working with my hands, and it's easy stuff for me, but there's also a lot of knowledge when you do home contracting. So much knowledge like that I saw with the guy I was working with. He just had so many years of experience, all the little things, tricks of the trade, as they say. Like, man, it's gonna take me forever to get to this point. I feel like I'm behind, like I'm slowing them down, but I still wanted to go somewhere within that path, and I'm glad I did that, because at that time I had taken a short break from doing the insurance stuff, and it was right before we had the baby too, so still had to pay bills, and I went out and made some money and learned some stuff from that. But going through YouTube, going down the rabbit hole, I saw things like excavation. I'm like, man, that's really cool, because someday, we really aspire to get some land and do some stuff on it, and I'd love to have my own motocross track. Not only that, maybe even open it up to the public. So getting into excavation would be really cool, and who doesn't like playing in heavy machinery? I've always wanted a skid steer. I feel like there's a lot of things I could do with one. So it just occurred to me, like, how do guys get into these fields? And naturally they start with landscaping or mowing, and they just gravitate towards either home renovations, property maintenance, excavation. And I'm like, man, if I could just start small, build it up, then I can get into the excavation, do that stuff. We can make a living. I could actually be enjoying it, growing it, feel like I'm doing something, get excited about it, and eventually we can start to do these things that we want to do. If I want to get land, or if I want to build a motocross track in the future, support my family and have more kids. So that's the path that I took. And then I started watching landscaping videos like you wouldn't believe. So that's pretty much the why I got into it. How I got into it was a little bit tricky at the time because, like I said, we're about to have a child. So we ended up having our baby boy. Shortly after we had him, I decided, hey, I'm going to take this journey. So ultimately decided I'm going to start with mowing. Easiest thing you can do. I already had a push mower, weed whacker that didn't really work too well, and a blower that kind of didn't work either. So I started with those things. Eventually I used a Synchrony loan at Lowe's. They had some residential zero turns, and I ended up getting a little Toro 42-inch zero turn. I already had a 5x8 trailer. I already had a truck, so I lucked out there. And I figured I'm just gonna put this thing on my 5x8, get a little ramp for it to get it up there, throw the push mower on and start cutting. But the problem was I didn't have any customers yet. So I had to get my first few customers. Watching Mike Andy's videos, I thought it'd blow up. It's not like I got a ton of clients right off the bat or anything, but got some real cheap door hangers on Vistaprint, started putting those around, borrowed my younger brother's scooter. He has an electric scooter, and just went around and started putting around like 100 a day. Before you know it, I got some calls. The only problem was finding out now when I did it was in April. A lot of people do it before. So like February, March, they're already locking in their landscapers for the year. That's actually what I'm doing now to get ready for the following year. And I might make another video just on marketing, completely separate, because there are so many things I learned on marketing with like door hangers, yard signs, sending letters, EDDM. I've literally done all of it, and it's helped me progress into this full-blown landscaping company. So I think I'm gonna make a totally separate video just on marketing to help you guys out, because there was a lot that I could have used help with when I started last year. I ended up putting those out. I got a couple calls, and that's how I started, you know. And Facebook posts were a very big one for me, doing tons of Facebook posts in groups. People started seeing them, so I got a couple that way too. And then before you know it, that person gave me their neighbor, and then their neighbor knew someone that lived a couple streets over. So those were my first 10. It was literally from, I had a couple of responses from the door hangers I had put out late when cutting season already started, and Facebook posts. So it started growing from there, which was really cool. And at the time, doing 10 lawns is like not enough to support your family. So I also decided I was going to work part-time for another landscaping crew. So I ended up doing that, and through that, learning a ton just through the way that they cut, the way they do things, and how they have things structured. Much bigger company, obviously, than a solo operation. So learned a ton through that, and just built as I went. So I had my first 10 there, and then halfway through the summer, I ended up leaving that landscaping company. Still also have a good relationship with that guy. He ended up giving me some snow work as well. I went from literally zero to right now, I want to say we have about 40 lawns, which is pretty good. And then gradually through cutting, almost because of the way that I cut, taking my time on trimming and making it look good and stuff while still being efficient. A lot of homeowners notice that. They almost always, if anybody wants landscaping work, they will ask you. If you do a good job on grass, they will ask you for landscaping work, and that's what happened with a lot of people. So that's my probably my number one tip is start small, do the best job you can do on the smallest stuff. People will notice it, and they'll start asking you to do bigger work. So before you know it, I had mulch jobs, I had weeding jobs, doing a lot of property cleanups, and it went really smooth. Stayed busy. I thought I was gonna be SOL come October when the grass stopped growing, but we kept going. Grass actually kept growing until November, thank goodness. And then had a bunch of leaf pickups. We got a bunch of trees here in Western PA, so people started asking to do leaves. So ended up lucking out there. I was able to bank some money. I did charge a good bit on the leaf pickups because we also have another family friend who owns a lawn care business, and he told me what he was charging. So I just started charging the same, and nobody batted an eye on these leaf pickups, and that's when I learned that you can charge a lot more for what you're doing. So and you should too. There's again another completely separate video just on overhead expenses and equipment, breaking down stuff like that. Definitely need to make a totally separate video for that, because there's a lot that goes into it. You want to make sure you have some of that money banked when you do it, that you're paying yourself correctly, you got money for taxes, all of those things. And I think a lot of guys get themselves in trouble doing that, and I would have too if I didn't bump prices up. So leaf pickup saved me at the end of the year, banked a little bit of cash, and luckily we got some snow, which was really good. I was able to make enough money on snow just to keep afloat for the winter. And as of now, we're coming out of winter and going into spring. So that's where we're at. That's why I did it. That's how I did it. What I focused on, like I said, was just grass. And I kept it real simple with marketing. A lot of Facebook posts, a lot of door hangers. I did some flyers at like sheets and stuff like that. But a lot of people will ask about marketing. I see I'm in a couple lawn groups on Facebook, and I watch a lot of YouTube videos, of course, just trying to learn everything. But a lot of people ask about truck wraps and yard signs too. I did end up doing some yard signs about halfway through the year, and I'll show you guys some of my yard signs here before I show you the truck wrap. So just to show you guys real quick, again, I'm going to make a separate video on marketing, but these are my first yard signs that I did. I got these on Vistaprint. They're pretty not inexpensive to say the least. So if you can find somebody local, that's what I would do. But just threw the logo on there that I made through ChatGPT with the number. And then when I started landscaping, probably almost halfway through the summer, I threw some landscaping work on there just to keep me busy. These are the second batch I got. They are, I want to say I got 50 of these and 25 of them that actually say leaf removal, the exact same design. Ended up getting a business line. That's probably something important you should do as well if you don't want people blowing up your personal phone. So I did get a business line, and I used a professional to do these, and it is actually one of my customers who owns a print shop locally. So he did a ton of my work, offered to do it in exchange for landscaping services, and it was the best decision ever. All I have to do is cut his grass and do some landscaping work, and I get stuff like this all the time. Also got t-shirts and hats from him as well, and they did the wrap on my truck. So I'm going to take you guys outside right now and show you the wrap job that they did on my truck. And in my opinion, it is one of the best marketing investments that you can do, because so many people tell me that they see it around town or they see the truck in their neighborhood, and they oftentimes think it's a much bigger company. It's a solo guy. So this is the wrap that they ended up putting on. Came out perfect. They kind of split my logo, put the name right here. I just need to change the number on the bottom. And they wrapped all the way around back. They actually did a phenomenal job putting this thing together. I wanted them to put landscape management there. I might change that in the future. Maybe put snow removal on it and put the number up here. You see that a lot. Back here is actually what I started with, getting that off Vistaprint, just so I had something on there. And I actually did have a couple people see that and then search me on Instagram because they saw the logo. So that ended up working out pretty well. But it came out great. Like I said, I can't tell you how many people have seen the truck and given me a call. Been like, I saw the trucks in the neighborhood. I only have one truck. So I think I answered some of the most important questions, how you get started, some of the marketing I did, whether you should get a truck wrap or not. I think you should get a truck wrap, or at least a logo on the side that's big enough people can read with the number. The other thing I didn't mention is that I did upgrade from the 5x8 trailer. Unfortunately, an older gentleman not paying attention or seeing a red light hit me while I was stationary and totaled my 5x8 trailer and the equipment I had on it, which was really, really rough at the time because I was just getting started. I ended up getting all that stuff replaced, and I ended up upgrading to an enclosed. It is a Homesteader 7x14 Vinos. And if you guys want to see how I have that set up for landscaping, what's inside of it, I'll be happy to show you. I'm going to put out a totally separate video showing my setup after my first year of landscaping. Show you all the equipment that I have, everything from the backpack blowers to the mowers and everything in between. So if that's something you guys want to see, subscribe, like this video, and check out the next video.